Welcome back to Cody in the Cinema, and today I wanted to do a video about a film I've grown up on and that I've watched many times over the years. And does it hold up today in 2024? Has it aged too much? Dumb and Dumber, the 90s comedy. I started watching this in a camper when I was a kid, whenever it would rain outside. And I am going to be discussing spoilers from the film, so spoiler alert. But just to give you a quick refresh for people who haven't seen it in a while. So Lloyd and Harry, they're living in a dump on the East Coast, and they need to go chase down a woman who has accidentally left her briefcase at the airport. So they take a cross-country trip in their shaggin' wagon, literally a van dressed like a dog, to Colorado, to Aspen, where they most certainly do not belong. And so what still works about this? What doesn't? What are my thoughts? Well, it's still a really funny comedy, and one that critics were unnecessarily hard on. Okay? There are very few comedies out there where two actors gave their all the way they did in Dumb and Dumber. Especially of the two performances, Jeff Daniels, his holds up a little better. And it's my understanding that Jim Carrey really pushed for him to be in this film alongside him. I think he's the funnier of the two. So when we think about the jokes and what parts are aging well, what parts are still funny, and what parts aren't, the organic sort of it just happened this way moments are the ones that are the funniest. So there's this scene where Lloyd Christmas, that's Jim Carrey's character, goes outside of a gas station and he looks at two guys and he says, "Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later." And it's just funny. There's another scene where, Harry tosses his salt shaker and it hits the guy, a few rows back in the restaurant. That's still funny. Stuff that's just sort of harmless is basically still funny in the movie, okay? There's a part where they cry to like the money that they wipe their noses with to like a telephone commercial that's like really melodramatic. And all of that stuff is still funny. There are a few parts that have not aged well, however, that this particular last viewing, I had a lot of trouble kind of getting past. And I don't know if you will or not as a viewer, but I did want to talk about them a little bit. So Lloyd Christmas, maybe I've just gotten older. I don't know. Maybe I'm pickier. I don't know what it is, but I kind of found him to be a little bit more psychotic and stalkerish than I used to. He's extremely uncomfortably aggressive toward Mary, and I understand it's a comedy, but like it's overdone a little bit, and it kind of doesn't feel very good to watch, and it's not particularly funny. It's just kind of sad and creepy and sort of makes you worry for her. It's sort of an unintended consequence there. That part hasn't aged well. And some of the jokes, like where he's driving and he doesn't pay attention. Statistically speaking, Mary, that whole scene, and then there's like an explosion in the background. There's like this super hyperbolic element that doesn't really work anymore, I don't think. But whenever it's a little bit more grounded in reality, and the dumb things that they do are like on a smaller level, it's still really funny, okay? And they still have given their all in these performances. Beyond Lloyd and Harry, the characters that are still funny. So I think Mary Swanson's character, I think watching this again, I was surprised at how much I liked her reactions to Lloyd. How else would you react to Jim Carrey being a total maniac on set other than to just be like, just what she does for a lot of the movie, and I appreciated that. The two assassins that go after them, that's still great stuff, especially the guy that has the ulcer. He's still really funny. The crime boss is funny. So a lot of the small supporting actors, really, if you go and watch this film again, you're going to be surprised at how often those characters maybe make you laugh. Now, I will also say this for the film that surprised me going back and watching. It makes you want to go on a road trip. And movies that make you want to go on a road trip, in my opinion, are really underrated, especially as someone who likes to go on a road trip, because even though they have all kinds of problems going out on this road trip, seeing Colorado and seeing them kind of arrive. If you've done the road tripping like I have, it really does make you want to go do that. So I do appreciate that part of the movie. They have great chemistry together. It's still a good comedy. It's still one you should see. But like I said, some of the parts haven't aged well. It's very objectifying of women, and I don't know that it walks that line very well. I think people can agree, disagree on that. There's some conversation you could have there. But that's just a thought I have. I still like it. I still plan to watch it more times in the future. What do you think about Dumb and Dumber? Do you still like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's the dumbest thing you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.